Hello, Corrie here, coming in to do the energy update for March. This is being recorded on the second day of March, not the first. So this is some big energy. Some big energy. It's like with kids. There's some big emotions also coming. We do have Venus in Aries. We have retrograde. We also have that portal energy opening up through the eclipse season. We have I don't know, the end of the month, we also have a retrograde coming in that's going to very much affect the Aries energy. We are also in Pisces season. And so we have a lot of the fire that is really influencing the energy. There's just so much. I don't even know where to begin, but there is a lot, and there is a lot of there's also a lot of enthusiasm. There is a massive shift that is bringing enthusiasm in, as well as be careful of your words. Be careful of how you show up, or be aware of how you show up in your relationships, because this could be a catastrophic change to some relationships if you are toxic and volatile, or somebody else is toxic and volatile in their actions and reactions. And if you have been constantly going back and forth about, whether or not you can handle it anymore, whether or not you can take any more of anyone's shitty behavior, you're going to find your strength coming up in these next few months. Possibly that's there. Possibly you're going to just say, you know what? I'm finding this. It is an energy that can empower us, but it can also disempower. But it can take away the power from somebody else. It is a transferring of power that is coming up in this energy. And we're feeling this everywhere. It is all over. And this beginning of the month, this beginning energy out of the gateway is like a horse race that's about to happen, is that we are really being kind of looking at and walking through the shadow of our doubts, our insecurities, our fears, and also being able to come to new truths. And so there is the possibility of discovering new truths, getting to kind of find and navigate our way through this energy. We have had a lot happen in the beginning of the year. And I know myself, like, I'm in my office again, and I've been recording all over the place because I have been all over the place. But my time of recording in this office is coming to an end. There is a lot of doubts and fear stories that pop up. We have to make a move. We are looking at purchasing and buying a house. That comes with big money and big big changes and scary things, and also finding a place. So, my time in this space is coming to an end. I'm not going to be in this space. I'm not going to be here. And I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't even know what town I'm going to be in, or what hamlet I'm going to be in. It looks like we are leaving Lacombe. And I've been in Lacombe for 3 years. I just kind of settled myself in, and it's looking like Lacombe is not going to be our home. I'm in Lacombe, Alberta. And in the past, since 2018, I've already had 2 moves into 2 different cities, or 3 moves, 3 cities in the past since 2018. Now I'm moving again, and this is 2025. And now we have to move to a new town, a new city, a new place again. And so there is big emotions, and I'm feeling the big emotions. I'm also not knowing where to begin. I don't know where to start. And so, but it's in this energy. And so the one truth that really truly comes is that sense of getting to that place within yourself of where you can ask yourself the question, and not let your head of doubt answer, but wait for the response. Wait for the response of what feels right, what feels good, what will feel good to your soul, what will make you feel alive. I feel an excitement, and I see like a fireworks of energy coming in, and there is a lot of fireworks of energy, but there is also some, I'm going to say, some danger. There is some warning energy. I see danger signs, and they're absolute danger signs. There is no doubt in my mind that I'm seeing danger signs. And there just feels like, don't pass this point. Don't go beyond here. Don't do this. Don't pass this place. So it's not a time to really tempt fate. It is not a time to tempt the energy. It's not a time to tempt You know, it's not a time to push those buttons. When sometimes say, oh, you need to push more buttons or you need to push somebody's buttons. No, it's not a time to push somebody's buttons at all. It is fragile, it is volatile, it can be really good, but it can also, things can also go really freaking wrong and really sideways, and life can take us sideways. So we're walking with a level of caution, but also with a level of optimism, a level of enthusiasm, a level of excitement. And we're also seeing big changes, and we're seeing people kind of change, and we're seeing changes in the people that may be in your life. You may be seeing you know, big changes in the geographic location of where you're going to spend the next 5-10 years of your life. And so there is those big changes. Now I'm also seeing you know, health wise for some people, like really finding out, you know, going through one experience to discover there's something more happening, discovering like those hidden health issues that have not come to the surface, but have not been figure outable until now. It's like, but finding out something, finding out what is causing a health issue, finding out what has been causing you to feel tired, what's been causing you to feel a certain way. So it may be an energy, it may be a time of where it does bring to the surface health issues that need to be healed, needs to be resolved. And because there is so much powerful healing energy, that this helps to heal. And it's a journey sometimes we got to walk through, but it helps us to find the right team or the right healing that is needed. But it is shifting people, it is shifting and moving us in big ways in that collective world, in that human world that we live in, and where we see that come up. And you know, and for some people, and people often ask me this, well, how come some people never experience anything and they just get to coast through life? It's because that's what they're here for. They're not here to ride those waves this time. They're here to kind of just be fillers in this world and just live their life and exist in their worlds and do whatever they do, and things work smoothly. But they're also probably not the people who are going to be the ones that become the ones who become like awakened to a new truth in this life, or are here to answer some big call in this life. And so there is this like answering of big calls sometimes that are coming up, and sometimes our most difficult and most challenging experiences that we experience in this life are so that we can be who we need to be in our future, and that our future is now calling us. And so the future is now calling. The future is now, there's a phone, there's a dial, the number has been dialed. Your number may have been dialed. You may have been dialed up now, and you're being called in for a new journey, a new experience, or to be something of a support in somebody else's life. And that is speaking to us in a way that just says, you know, the world is changing. The world is changing in big ways. There is, like I said, there's big energy, big emotions, and big changes that are on its way. We are, if there's any way to move through, get things done in March that need to get done, don't procrastinate into April. April is going to have some really like strenuous energy, and it's going to be a little bit more challenging to work and navigate through the energy for some, especially for those who, especially though for those who are being very much affected by the Pluto and Aquarius. Anyone having who are being affected by that will really be able to feel the struggles of not saying good things don't happen, but it just like sometimes it just takes more. We got to put more effort in to what should be effortless, but it has more resistance to it. And so you'll feel that effect. So get it done now kind of thing, get things cleared up. And so this is where we're also moving in through, you know, in through completions. And so journeys are being done, endings are happening. And so it's also where we're feeling and seeing truths, right? There is some truths that are coming up of about ourselves, about who we are, about how we show up. So it's like having to face ourselves. and having to look at ourselves and having to look at who we are. So if you're having big emotions and big emotional moments, and you've been going through some big moments, is that you may also be having to really look at the self and see yourself and see what else is going on. Now, March. When we get into the energy of moving through into the full moon of March, we're going to feel it's almost as if I feel like there's like some sort of like split, and it's like we're being split somehow. So there is some sort of division and divide, and it could be where you're finally free of something. So it just keeps doing this to me. And so I'm like, fly. And so it does. Remember that, whatever that was. And so it just feels like there is some split and some divide, some change that is coming for that energy for throughout that full moon energy. And it's bringing us in through, like I said, we're diving into eclipse. Like we are in this portal of going through a combination of kind of the flickering of dark and light, dark and light, dark and light. So where we're kind of meeting all of that energy, and where we're meeting, where we're having to meet ourselves. We're having to meet ourselves. We're having to sit across from self and really self-inquiry, do some real serious self-inquiry. And this is going to follow us through. And when we come into shifting into the Aries season, when we start to move into the Aries, is Aries, the big identity, the big personality of Aries is doing a comeback, but it's been redefined, and it's had some level of upgrading since the Pluto in Aquarius. And if you are an Aries sign, you have been upgraded, leveled up, and you are going to be feeling the big shifts happening within. And it could be so much as the things you like, the food you like, the clothes you wear, the style, everything. Things are changing about you and how you're seen and how people see you. The whole old outdated version of the Aries, Aries being this and Aries being selfish, is like, no, Aries is anything but selfish. Aries is the big giver, and Aries gives as good as it sends sometimes. And so there is this big give energy, and this big, and something is being given back. And so there's this big give back and this big comeback energy that ties in to when we move into Aries season. March is not just about Pisces, it is about Aries. And so because we are going to be experiencing and seeing this big shift, this is where sometimes we see those breakaways. And so we're also going to start to see some medical upgrades. And what that means, I believe there is some sort of new medical device or some sort of scanning, and it could be MRI machines or something that kind of like is a new revelation, something they've been working on for many years. And I feel like we're going to start to get some big announcements on what this can do for us, how this can help us, how it can detect, how it can help in the healing. So the healing industry itself, whether it is the big medical industry, or it is spiritual healing, there is, or emotional healing or energetic healing, there is big upgrades and big shifts and changes coming in to all of the healing world. And we're seeing a much more integrated and relatable kind of energy that says kind of this is for everyone and not just for specific. And so you may see a lot of money being thrown into not so much not the pharmaceutical, but into the establishment, into not into the scientists itself, but into the establishments, into growing hospitals, growing healthcare, growing our own, like stepping deeper into the importance of spiritual, emotional healing, and just this sense of, it's just a sense of help and support is coming up. If you are someone who's been looking at making a change to purchasing or buying a home, you're going to really begin to find that place, or you're going to get into the groove coming into the middle to the end of the month. And that's when you're going to see that shift happening. Now, for my babies being born. So for those babies that are due, you're getting like a hybrid, upgraded version of a baby. I'm like, it's almost as if these poor little things can walk before they're 3 months old. These little ones that are being born into this time, they are extra bright, extra shining light. They have something about them. And if you have been on the fertility journey and you're so close, I feel like this could be the energy that could bring about the next generation of children. And so you're going to see an influx of pregnancies coming up and women choosing to have babies, being excited about having babies. It's going to be like this. It's like this seeds have been planted and this freshness is going to be coming. We're going to see more of that coming into May and June, but there is like this freshness of truth and energy that is coming in. Now, I do have some like almost like a message for my Virgos and my Libras. And I don't know why all of a sudden this just come flying in, and it's tied into the sun sign. Those who have the sun sign, you are somehow having to experience the influence of this energy a little differently than most other signs. I don't know why. I don't know why it's different for you, but it's almost like when the energy is just like everyone is feeling one specific way, you may find yourself feeling like an outsider. So let's just say everyone is feeling really good in the energy and you're like, but I don't feel that. I feel like something is not right. And it feels different. And it feels different because you are going through a different healing, a different experience, it's like now it's kind of your turn for there to be some up leveling or some upgrades. You're going into the body shop somehow. So it's like you're going into the body shop is the only way I can describe this. It's like, or into the car wash, and everything that is no longer serving you is kind of being washed away. And it's like it's a clearing. It's like this big clearing or this big like shifting upgrade. So if you are someone who's been thinking like, I don't know why I feel this way. I don't know why I feel like there's something happening, or I don't know why I can't get resolution. I can't get answers. I can't get results. You're going to find out things. There is going to be like secrets revealed, or the problems that have been kind of plaguing you for a long period of time. You're going to finally find the truth of that. You're going to find out something about what is happening. And that's what they're giving me. I don't know what else that means. We're also coming into a time of where you're going to see a big influx in the automobile world. And so factories, jobs, new beginnings, it's easy to get greedy when these things start to grow and evolve and think, well, companies are making money, we need to be making more. And it's not a time to let greed get in the way. It's a time to just get into the industry, get the industry back up and going, whatever that means. But I do feel like it's a comeback of what was once old is becoming new again. What was kind of on its way out is finding its way back in, but upgraded, but with new ways to do things. So there is a return of some of the old, but advanced. It's much more advanced than it used to be. So it's not that it's the same. It's not that it's the same old, the same old vehicle. It looks like some of the old vehicles, but it's upgraded, and there's major upgrades and changes also happening. So the same thing with us. We are like going into this body shop, and it's not a chop shop. It's where we get to be a better version of ourselves than we have ever been. And so there is an opportunity to be a better version of ourselves than we have ever been. And that doesn't mean we've perfected life, is that we recognize our habits, we recognize the things that stand in our way. And it just feels like it is, it just feels like it's like innovation. It is a time of great innovation. It's a time for creativity. It's a time for being courageous. It's a time to really, truly look at things in be brave, be courageous, and really not be afraid to look at self, to look at life, to look at where you need to clean house, what you need to kind of get done. It is a time to kind of clean your closets earlier than you would have before. You know, spring may be on the way and spring might not be here, but it's time to clean the closet now, because you're making space and room for something new to come in, because there is something new. There is new things on the way. And when I was standing this morning, I just had this overwhelming sense to, I had this overwhelming sense to, what was it? What were they just going to say? They just took that thought away. I don't know. I had this overwhelming sense. Oh, I had this overwhelming sense to just start packing up things. And then I just heard, you're not packing it up, you're clearing it out. And so it's like, you're not going to pack things. You're not taking what is old to the new place. You're not moving forward with the things that you no longer need. It is less for more. And also that sense of not losing hope and faith. There is a big shift happening there's a big shift happening in our financial world, and the world around us and the collective consciousness is trying to tell us we're going to be poor, and that times that we're never going to be able to afford anything. We're not going to be able to live. That's the fear story. On the other side of that, there's more than there ever was. And it's accessible, it's available. How much do we want it? How bad do we want it? And so it's not about forceful energy. It's about communicating back to this and just saying, well, that's just not true. That's just not true. That is a truth, but it's not the only truth. That may be happening over there, but that doesn't mean this is happening everywhere. And so everything we're bearing witness to and the way people are showing up it's the way they're designed to show up. They're meant to show this, because what we're seeing is authenticity at work. What was once done behind closed doors and then putting the mask on and just showing the world what the world wanted to see to make the world feel safe and comfortable is now out in the open. Is not that things are being done differently, is that things are being done more authentically, without hiding it, without pretending, without putting on a mask. It is more about the authentic versions and the authentic self coming to the surface. And so we're seeing in the world, everywhere, we're seeing more of authenticity. And that is where the imperfection is. And that's the imperfections that we see, is that we're seeing authenticity really, truly making a comeback, because that illusions, the veils of illusions are falling away. They are making that collapse. But it's a place of comfort, because we're always trying to get back to comfort. The ego is to get us back to comfort. So trying to create that organization, that perfection again. We got to get back the kumbaya. We need all of, no, that's not how this works. And this is a time, like I said, of great change. So great change means sometimes it is messy, sometimes it is raw, and sometimes your truest expression may not be the most perfect, but it's the expression that needs to appear and needs to show up and be there, be in the moment and be in the experience. So there's a lot of things that's happening in the moment. Time is going by so fast. Time has sped up. The movement, the time, the change this year will be over before you can blink. And with it, of course, is going to be like, it's like pulling a plug. We are pulling a plug, and there's a lot going down the drain. There's a lot that's being put out into the sewer, a lot that's being put out to be filtered back, whatever it is, but it's to come back to us as love, as wisdom. And it is to come forward as a change, and to see those changes happening in our world and in our lives. So we are experiencing life. We're experiencing life in real time, and not so much of being hidden and disguised. And it's not about the performer or performing and putting on the mask. It's about letting the real be seen. And then, most people don't like real. Most people don't like real. Most people want what makes them feel comfortable. They want people to accommodate their insecurities. They want people to accommodate, to make them feel like, oh, I don't deal with this. So I'd rather have a lie than a truth because it makes me feel comfortable. But then I'm mad because I'm being told a lie. So now we're seeing truth and we're seeing less of the lie, but because we're seeing truth we're seeing a version of a truth in real time. It's like, can we go back to the lies? So there's no go back to tell ourselves lies. We are moving forward. So the card that comes out is the awareness of truth, the card Corrie. And so this card was created as a portrait, as a gift for me, and it ended up in my Everyday Goddess Oracle cards. And at the time, it was very hard for me to even see me until I really recognized that every time I looked, I was always seeing a shadow of myself, and I was seeing a version of myself that allowed me to be a victim to my own stories of body image shaming, guilting myself that's I had to be, or I was chasing something, and so I could never see me. It was very hard to see myself, and so that we decided the card should be in here so that we can really truly get to that truth within ourselves. And so we're coming to a time of awareness of truth and what those truths mean. Now, this card for me, also in the creation and what they bring, and not that I'm the high priestess, but it is the high priestess also kind of card. And sometimes you gotta consult with all aspects of yourself in order to get a truth. Sometimes you gotta look deeper to get a truth. Sometimes you gotta learn how to be honest with yourself so you can receive a truth. And when we're not honest with ourselves, we continue to create more of half-hearted truths instead of finding our real truths and telling ourselves the truth. And the key of everything we need is within us. Also around us is the guardians. This is Willow. This is from my Everyday Goddess Oracle cards. You can purchase the cards directly on my website. These cards are about from shadow to truth, even though they're pretty and they look so lighthearted. That is the illusion. That is kind of the illusion of everything there is. It don't mean it don't kick ass. You don't have to create dark cards. You don't have to create something complex. You got to be authentic. And so the guardians this is Willow, and it's about us being able to move out of the way and allow the guardians to move this energy. So where there is a troublesome spot, where there is a challenging energy, where there is a struggle, is for us to say, yes, I need help, I need guidance, I need support, and allow your guardians to step in and to move this energy for us. Some things are too big for us. And if it's too big for us, why would we waste our time trying to lift it, trying to carry it, trying to move it, trying to break it, or trying to break through it, when we can simply ask for it to be done for us? Work through me, for me. And this is going to be the key to moving through some of the energy that we are experiencing, that we are having coming up. And so when we're faced with some of the challenges of life, or some of the, the news we don't want to hear, but we exist in a world that we exist in other people's fates as well, is that this is where we get to feel and sense and move with that energy and just say, okay, this is too big for me. I'm going to be here. I'll do my part, but I need you to lift the big stuff. I need you to do the big things. And our guardians will help us do the big things. They will give us the strength and the courage, and this light moves through us. And when this light moves through us, it moves mountains for us. It provides us with the strength. The spirit of strength gets ignited in us, the spirit of love, the spirit of courage, the spirit of truth. When the spirit of truth arrives, you can't even lie to yourself. It does reveal a lot of things, and it's not to pick us apart, but it's to get us back home to ourselves, back to our deepest of truth. And so we are experiencing a lot of movement in this energy, but we also have a lot of crone energy that's here with us. And which means that we are experiencing those endings and those changes. And then we have forever yearning. And of course, we have another crone card. So we're being very supported, but what are we forever yearning for? And is what we're forever yearning for, is it still, is it an illusion of something that we believe that we want it? And are we still chasing something that we thought we wanted that no longer is even your dream, but you just don't know when to stop? You don't know when to stop chasing something that is not for you. You don't know when to, because you're told you would fail and you don't want to be a failure. You don't want to be a disappointment. You don't want to look like you're a loser. So you just keep fighting for something, or keep trying to do something, or keep trying to make something happen, or trying to keep something alive. Or on the other side of this, are you still hoping for someone of the past to come apologize, make amends, to fix things? And in the meantime, you are still paying the price for what somebody else is now long moved on from. And it's affecting and influencing your life, your relationships, and all of those things. So whatever you're still yearning for, it is time to just, it's the moon is shining light upon all of these areas of our lives that are not truths, and where we are acting up and acting out, or where we are pretending, or where we're taking shit out on the wrong people. And it's just saying, or where someone else is taking their shit out on you and it's not about you. And it's just saying, it's time to clear this shit up. It is time to grow up. It's time to emotionally and spiritually grow and evolve. And so this journey is going to take us to a new place, and we're going to land in a whole new, everything's going to land a little bit differently. Everything's going to feel a little bit differently, and everything will affect everyone a little bit differently. It all depends on where you are, what your experience is, and what you're going through. But we're all feeling it, and we're seeing it on a world scale as well. We're also seeing, I keep seeing things like falling from the sky, and I'm like, what's falling from the sky? It's like it's raining something from the sky, and I'm like, is this some big storms? Is this some big weather patterns? Or is this us finding out like a big firing, or a big shift? I don't know. It just feels like where there has been this kind of big kind of corruption of energy, you're going to see big people, you're going to see big people losing their status or falling down, and things are being, things are coming to the surface. It is a year of things coming to the surface. And I know there's a lot of areas where we need those changes, and we need those changes in the big way. But we're also going to see a geographical shift, where a lot of people who would have, probably have been, I feel like people are going home. A lot of people are going home. And this is what I'm getting. And I don't know if this is home to there, or if this is home to, say, wherever your home is. You may find yourself going home to that place, or you may find yourself going home to a certain area. So don't lock your plans in. Don't lock your plans in. Don't be so set in stone to say, I would never, because we never know. And that those big plans can change in a blink of an eye, and it can bring about big changes. So there is still something falling. What is falling? I don't know what's falling. I don't know if this is an eruption and corruption. I'm getting eruptions and corruptions. Giants, those, I don't know why. I'm like, people, sometimes you see fall. Sometimes you see that you see the people that you don't think can fall, they see fall from grace. So there's some falling from grace, but we can also fall off our high horse, which destroys it is the death of the ego, right? It is the egoic death. And so there is the death of the ego stories that are also coming up. I don't know. This month is so full. I could probably go on forever with what we are experiencing in this month's energy, because it is a big whammy. Remember the game used to come on TV? It was Whammy. It's like the whammies. And I'm like, this feels like there is some big whammies, but there's also some big prizes, some big rewards, some big comebacks, some big celebrations. There is a lot that is happening. And we are all just here to experience this, and we're all in the experience. And it's just telling us that, sometimes we got to stop and look at what we were chasing, what we're always forever yearning for. Who was that for? What was that for? And have we been chasing the desires of our shadows versus the desires of our truth, of our true light? And what does my light require of me? And what is it that if I could live my best life, what would my best life look like, feel like? And what did I kind of push away out of my life that, that I really wanted in my life, that I really enjoyed and that really worked? And so the things that work really well are the things that kind of come back reformed, recharged, but there's no room and space so much for doing things behind closed doors, which means you're also going to see an exposure coming up. And this is also in the yearly, and feeling and seeing the exposure of people's um people's secrets. Secrets are coming out, man. And that could be so much as like online, sites, places where people can hide their isms, their addictions, all coming up and out. This is like opening us up. It's like it's revealing something. I'm also seeing like people kind of coming out of their shell somehow. But it's going to seem like there's a lot of people who who appear to be kind of a somebody kind of making changes, or there's changes happening, or we're going to see an influx of people passing and returning home. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means yet. So that could be endings and new beginnings. It could be a change within ourselves. It could be an awakening. It could be, like I said, the end of the ego death. So the changes that happen within ourselves, so we recognize what we've been chasing, why we've been doing it, and find our way back. And so the awareness of truth, Karina, the guardians, because we're finding our way, we're navigating through something. Some things are too big. We have to trust the guardians that are here to support us. And because new opportunities and new moments are coming. And then the forever yearning, which is Luna, is what is it we've always been forever yearning for? And is it a dream? Is it a dream? Is it a dream life? Is it something that we thought we had to chase? Are we yearning for something that is time to stop, to really look at what it is that we really want? And does the version of ourselves really want that anymore? So what is it that I want? And so this is coming into consulting with our higher self, recognizing that we have been existing in, living in, and working with, and in a world filled with shadow, and that our shadow light is not all of who we are. There is a revealing and a coming off of the mask, and truth is finding its way in. So wow, it's moving us through. We are moving through. So that's what I have for you for the month of March. I hope in some way that any of this might make sense. But I do send you so much love. I have a lot more energy updates, and all the weeklies will come out. I'm also sharing so much. I'll be sharing much more. I'll be back on my lives because I am back in between this busy, chaotic schedule that I have that is just keeping me going and doing so, making space and time for everything, and prioritizing. What are you prioritizing? That's another one. What are you prioritizing? Make sure you got your priorities straight. Make sure what is really important is the things that are getting your attention, and the things that really need your attention. So priorities are a must. Yeah. And that's it. So you can purchase my cards, and both decks of my cards. My newest deck is You Want to Know a Secret to a Life of More Than Existing. Both of these are available on the website. And yes, we do ship worldwide. The free shipping, it says, is in Canada. I do just have to find out like where we're shipping, and if the cost is a little bit more, then I would include that a little bit more. But once you purchase, your shipping could be even, I don't know. No, for the most part, the shipping pretty much balances itself out. But the cards are available to be shipped anywhere in the world, wherever you are. I will get your cards to you if you purchase them, but they are only on the website. All of my books, this is my collection back here, are available on the website or through Amazon. So you can purchase all the books on Amazon. My Truth of Existing. Beyond the Reflection is the second book. More Than Existing is the first book, and Wine and Chips is the third book. And we are now working on the fourth book. So it's all my journey through healing. I share stories, I share experiences, and I don't have so much the how-tos, because sometimes we got to walk through the journey to discover how to do it for ourselves. I send you much love. Have a beautiful month, and I will talk with you soon. Bye-bye.